I know
So
it's changing. It's so annoying.
I know I just see all the updates come through, and I don't ever take any notice of what they're doing. But for a minute, luckily, I tried to log on a few minutes early just to make sure that I was being professional.
Of course, always.
Oh my God! Sorry, I knew this would happen. The cats,
Oh,
the cats have been asleep for ages, haven't you? And now they've seen me doing something. They're gonna start fighting and running around. Move out the way, cats. Typical. How's
brilliant.
your pandemic going?
Oh my God, I'm having a wonderful time.
I'm drinking my way through it.
Yeah, I mean, she's got the martini and lemonade, like an old
Very
lady.
nice.
Yeah, what are you drinking?
Champagne.
Mmm.
So my boyfriend got promoted at work recently, and loads of people have sent him champagne as congratulations. So
Just working.
I'm partaking, which is very nice. Um, so talking about the pandemic, have you learned any? Have you taken up any new hobbies or anything? Like, or started learning things that you didn't before?
Yeah, so I started painting a lot. I'd sort of painted before, but like during lockdown, I was like, okay, this is my escape. This is my like thing to do is to go and paint. So I've been doing a lot of painting, like on canvas, not like painting.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And is it all kind of around like female body positivity?
yeah, yeah.
Kind of
I
because I
start,
see the pictures
yeah, like
to do
nudie
that.
stuff, you know. I started painting like abstract stuff first, and then just yeah, I just thought I'd like try and like stretch myself a little bit and try and do something a bit harder. So yeah, I'm working on my technique now and just getting better and better. So self-taught. So yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
well done. And you're selling some of them as well.
yeah, I have an Etsy page as well. So I mean, got to make money in these hard times. So it's my side.
Sorry about it. How do you find this kind of interaction? Like things have changed. You know, it was a year ago, I think, that we met up and did an interview about this album.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, everything's happening on Instagram Live and Zoom. Do
Hmm.
you think going forward that's going to become a bit more of the norm doing this kind of thing, or do you think there'll be a mixture?
I think it might be a mixture, but I hope that this doesn't like take over. Like I've done a few sort of Zoom rehearsals and I hate them. Gives me anxiety. You can't. It's just not the same. And like I get distracted very easy as well. So if I'm doing like a rehearsal in my living room, then I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, I need to dust that and I need to do that. I just get very
Or
distracted.
you have cats flying at your face.
You know, exactly. Like you can't sing over Zoom with other people and stuff like that. So that's a bit annoying. And with regards to like online performances and concerts, it's just not the same. I think it's been nice and it's filled a gap, but you just don't get that atmosphere. And I think that's what everyone's missing right now and what everyone's craving.
I
Yeah.
found it really difficult to review online productions because, like you say, it just doesn't have the feeling of it. And
Yeah.
unless it's being filmed really, really well, like some of them are, the smaller shows that don't have the budgets are kind of just doing a standalone camera with no real microphones, and
Exactly.
it's sad. I mean, it's good that it's getting out there, but it just doesn't have any feeling to it.
Yeah, no, there's no atmosphere. You don't even like I watched quite a big musical a few weeks back that had been filmed in the theatre and I love the show. I've seen it live twice and I was like, oh my God, it's on the telly, I'm gonna watch it. And it just didn't have the same impact like at all. And the person who I was with was like, oh, it's all right. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Like you have to go see it in the theatre. Like it's just so different. Yeah.
Yeah,
So hopefully it doesn't take over. I don't think it will. Everyone's waiting for the theatres to open. So
yeah. And I think it's handy to have had this time to build the kind of online thing up. Because then I guess like for performers, you're probably going to be able to do a lot more interviews and stuff this kind of way
yeah.
because it takes up so much time. You can only really do one or two a day if you're
Mhm.
backstage at the theatre and you have to find somewhere and you have to let them set up and do the lighting. So I guess hopefully it's going to be a nice mixture of both ways.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but who knows?
I think there's auditions via like this way. I think that saves time and for safety, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, I
We'll
guess it's
see.
the same as doing a self. Oh, I saw your self-tape video. That was quite funny, or your outtakes. Um, yeah, I guess it really shows how we can communicate around the world
Hmm.
in terms of auditions and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Um, but staying with the pandemic, because it's the only thing we've really had to talk about for so long, is there anything within the theatre industry that you think is going to change going forward because of what we've gone through? So I'll give you an example. I review theatre shows,
Hmm.
and I'm hearing a lot now of we don't want to hear negativity, like theatre criticism. I think is going to change because people want to really just hear the positives about life right now. So I think the way in which we review shows is going to have to be very carefully worded from now on.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and even in terms of shows where you like clubs packing out
Oh,
concerts, I think
shit.
that's, I don't think anyone's going to really be that comfortable face up against someone's
No,
back for a
no.
while. So is there anything within your job that you thought, God, I don't know how that's going to go?
Yeah, I think stage door is obviously a big thing. Like with Six, when we were at the arts, we used to get handed a pen before we went out, so we weren't touching,
Right.
other pens and stuff. But just getting up close and personal for pictures and just speaking to people so close up. I think stage door is definitely going to have to be run a different way. Um, whether that's a virtual meet and greet or select people, like I just don't know how that's going to work. It's just not good for anyone really to
Right.
everyone clumped together. But apart from that, I think everything's fine. Like I just had a chat with the Six girls. Actually, we just had a little Zoom together. And we were just saying about like hygiene, like clean
Mm.
stuff down and stuff like that. I just hope that that's sort of everyone keeps that up, and keeps cleaning things and the tubes and all that kind of stuff. But I think, yeah, mainly for our business, I think stage door is probably only going to be the thing that's like, ooh, what do we do? Yeah.
Yeah. And when we do return to some kind of normality within the
Mhm.
industry, obviously you've got all the shows that are currently on that will hopefully stay and reopen. But I think from my point of view, when we start to hear of new shows that are going to come in, I think we're going to see quite a few revivals of classic shows in order to try and pull audiences back into the
Yeah.
theatre. So have you got any classic shows that you would love to see revived?
I would love to see Legally Blonde revived, actually. I think that needs to come back.
Uh-huh.
Also, what else? I think Billy Elliot needs to come back, actually.
I was thinking about that the other day, or maybe someone said something online. I think we need those positivity
Yeah.
stories that are going to make us really, you know, feel lifted when we
Yeah.
come out.
I think
Um,
well would do really well if that came back.
yeah,
Another uplifting show. So yeah, hopefully. We'll
fingers crossed.
see.
Right, let's talk about your new album. Things ain't what they used to be.
The future ain't what it used to
Future ain't what it
be.
used to be. I wrote that down and I couldn't even read it. A personal collection of Jim Steinman's songs. Hashtag out now. Hashtag danielsteers.co.uk. Hashtag £15.
Yay.
Is that the only way you can get it right now? Is it on any
Um,
streaming services?
yes. So I'm looking into putting it online sort of in the next month or so. So it will be available to download on iTunes, hopefully in the next month. Fingers crossed. I know people are dying for it. So many people have like, I want to buy it, but I don't have a CD player.
I know. It's like I mean I haven't got a CD player,
Yeah.
and you know I'm from the generation of I remember records,
Yeah.
like the first time round. So even I don't really feel the unless you really want to hold it in your hand.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, but no. Luckily, I have heard it, and it's great.
Thank
It
you.
really is. It's really it's very obvious when you listen to it that it's not just I'm going to record a bunch of songs and release an album.
Yeah.
There's so much in it. Like the sounds and the things that have been done with the songs
Yeah,
are pretty mind-blowing.
thank you.
What was the concept? What were you hoping to achieve by putting this album together? What was the dream?
Um, my first thing was that, like, being in bat of hell for so long, the fans were so loyal, and I kind of wanted to do something and give something back to them, which is why I decided to do the Jim Steinman album. But then I thought I don't just want to record the songs as they are, because they've been done and they've been done very well. I want to put my own spin on it and maybe open it up to a younger audience that, you know, might not have heard these songs before, and just maybe make them a bit more current, but also with my flair as well. And my friend Noam Galperin, he's an incredible pianist and arranger. And we just worked together on some stuff and just, like, you know, gave them a little bit of a do-over, which they didn't need, but I wanted to do that. So some people will love them, some people won't like it very much, and that's okay. You're not never going to please everyone.
Mm. But I think they're great. And do you know what? I think it would sound brilliant on vinyl.
Yeah, I do want a vinyl copy.
It's that, like, that slightly crackly sound is
Yeah,
kind of feels like what you were going for with some of
yeah,
the songs.
yeah,
So I think that would work really well, but obviously difficult times. It's
yeah.
weird that we're going backwards now. We've gone from CDs to online streaming and now back to vinyl.
Yeah, I've got a full-on record player downstairs with all my vinyls, but it's got a tape player in it. It's got radio, everything. I love it.
Oh,
Love
yeah,
it.
it's things ain't what they used to be. I know that's what I called the album, but yeah, it's the times when you used to fast forward a tape or have to
Yeah,
listen to the whole thing in one go. It
that
was
with your
different
pencil.
times. Yeah, yeah. So how would you describe the sound of the album? We've talked about how some,
Oh,
I mean, I can't find the words for some of the songs. So
okay.
like Holding Out for a Hero. I'm like, what is the sound in that? Like, it's like, did you use special kind of microphones?
No, so that was done after the editing. So we, for that particular number, we wanted to go for more like Muse was our sort of inspiration for that song. And like with the megaphone and like the drum beat and stuff like that. And it's just something a bit different. And then you've got like the other end of the spectrum with like Lost Boys and Golden Girls and Rock and Roll Dreams that are a bit more like easy listening jazz sort of songs. So it's quite an eclectic mix of songs.
Yeah.
Takes you on a bit of a journey, I think.
Um, who have been some of your musical influences? Like, not necessarily theatre, but kind of growing up, and because your voice and the kind of sound that you've made. I keep talking about the sound because it's so rare that you hear an album that isn't just recorded tracks,
Same
and
thing,
you've
yeah.
you've done a lot with it, and it sounds amazing. But
Yeah.
so, does that come from people that have inspired you over the years and your taste in music?
Yeah, I mean, again, I have a very eclectic taste in music. I grew up listening to the Carpenters, and that's what I used to sing when I was younger. So I think that's where my sort of deep tones come from, because I used to sing that sort of stuff all the time, and try and impersonate Karen Carpenter when I was younger. And then it sort of went into like Queen and Journey and Foreigner and sort of
Classic rock.
Rocky, yeah. And then as I got a bit older, like I'm obsessed with Shirley Bassey. Like I love Shirley Bassey so much. She's like my queen. I love her. And she's so camp, and she's just everything that I aspire to be, basically. So yeah, I like to sing a bit of everything. So if it's not like a jazzy sort of sultry thing, it's like a rocky vibe. Put them both together, there's my album.
Oh, that's great. Have you got a favourite album of all time?
Ooh. Mm.
Like, if you could only have one, I know that's the cliche question. If you could only ever listen to
Yeah.
one.
So at the minute, I have on repeat a Journey album. I think it's called Trials by Fire, something like that. But I literally have it on repeat at the minute. That's like my go-to album. So I'm gonna go with that one. Yeah.
Okay, of
Yeah.
all time, you
Mm,
think?
it's a really hard one.
We can go with that. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll go with that for now. Yeah.
So bear with, just getting the top up.
Yes, you get that top up.
Um, so I'm a big Bonnie Tyler fan.
Mm-hmm.
And two of my favourite songs of all time that I remember from being a kid are Holding Out for a Hero and Total Eclipse of the Heart, both of which are on the album.
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise to me that they're my two favourites. And funnily enough, I didn't know, I'm not this big a fan. She's got a new album out today.
Oh, she does.
She's still going, and she
Good.
sounds like someone slit her throat in the best way. Like, you
The
know,
best one.
she's got that voice of like, I've smoked 400 cigarettes. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm living. Yeah.
But you know, it's quite good.
Oh, check that
We
out.
talked about Holding Out for a Hero and the interesting sound on it. You duet with Lauren Drew on it as well, who we all know now it's because she's in The Voice.
Yes.
And my favourite part is that bit where, like, the walk up where it builds.
Yeah. We came up with that on the spot. We were like, oh yeah, let's do that. Yeah. I love
That's the best part of the album for me.
it.
But what was the most fun to record? Was there one song that was the most fun to record?
Holding Out for a Hero was obviously really fun to record because we got to do it together as well, and we were just like messing around, so that was good fun. But aside from that, I think like Bad for Good was really fun to record. It's also very long. There's just so many sections in it. But yeah, they were all pretty fun to record, and I did it over the course of like 3 days as well.
The whole album in 3 days.
Yeah, well, we had to, so because I was going to New York to do Bat, so we had to like get it done. But then I hated safe sex, so we then decided to rearrange the whole thing, and I re-recorded that when I came back, and it's like a completely different song to what it was before. So, but I'm glad that I made that decision to do that. So yeah.
And you were getting ready to release this album when we literally went into lockdown when your album launch concert was about to happen. Was it like the next day or something?
It was supposed to be, yeah, like I think it was 3 days before, sort of thing. It was very annoying. But my album wasn't ready at that time. Basically somebody who was mixing it was like practically holding it hostage.
Oh.
So yeah, it was a whole thing. It was very annoying. But then having to cancel the concert anyway, I was like, okay, this gives me more time.
Yeah.
So the concert is now in November.
Okay. Is it back at the Arts again?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So fingers crossed we can go ahead and it's all good. But I think it's on the 8th of November. Yeah.
8th of November. Is that on sale or?
I think it is on sale. They might have paused it because we don't know if it's going to be socially distanced or we can have a house. So it's a bit of a tricky situation right now. But yeah, it has been moved. Yeah, again for the 3rd.
Oh God, I'm fed up of receiving emails saying this show has been cancelled or postponed again.
I know, it's so sad.
Or some of them even, it comes to the day of the show and I'm like, I haven't been told that this isn't going ahead. Am I supposed to turn up or?
Wow.
But that's bad planning for you. Although finding the motivation to do anything right now is difficult. So
very hard.
I definitely understand what people like. I was going to ask you about the rescheduled concert, but we've done that. Now for the worst question, I think, like if I was ever being interviewed, if someone asked me this, it would be the worst question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Why should people buy your album?
Oh!
Is that the worst question?
Yes. Why should people buy my album? Well, I think people should support new music for starters. And I think people will maybe get to hear a little bit of a different side to my voice. It's easy listening. It's good fun. It's got a bit of everything. Also, Lauren Drew's on there, so if you don't buy it for me, buy it for her. And you get a chance to maybe hear some songs that you've not heard before, which I think is always really good fun. So I don't think I sold it very well, but there we go.
Well, I think, like I've said repeatedly during this thing, that there's just a really interesting sound to the way it's been put together. So I think that's a reason to buy it and
Yeah.
have a listen. It's you know, I didn't know Jim Steinman very well. I obviously knew the Meatloaf stuff. I remember as a kid, I got, what was it? I do anything for love. Yeah.
Yeah.
In it was a cassette in like a selection box on
Oh, wow.
Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And I think I can't remember what was on the other side to it, but so like I knew those kind of songs
Mhm.
growing up, and obviously the Bonnie Tyler stuff. But it's really interesting to hear some of the others. Where are some of the more obscure ones from? Were they recorded by other artists? Because I don't really know.
Yeah, some of them were recorded by a group called Pandora's Box. And then some have been done by Meatloaf and some have been sang by Jim Steinman himself. So when I got that, I started like looking at all these other songs and stuff. And I actually put a poll out on Twitter to see like what people's favorite Jim Steinman songs were, because like Bat obviously had some huge die-hard Jim Steinman
Yeah, yeah.
fans. So I found a lot that way. Some people suggested stuff that I didn't know prior to like deciding to put them on the album, and I just listened to them and was like, oh my god, yes, amazing. So yeah, yeah.
Which ones didn't you know of that you've now discovered because of this?
I didn't know Surf's Up, which is now like my favorite song to sing. Also I didn't know Lost Boys and Golden Girls. I didn't know before, and I think there was another one as well. Bad for Good. I didn't know before I put on the album. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, it's thoroughly enjoyable.
Thank you.
God, who says that? Thoroughly enjoyable. I sound like a really old man. So yeah, definitely recommend. DanielleSteers.co.uk can currently buy the album, and hopefully streaming soon. Before I let you go, I think we should just plug that your Leave a Light On online concert is going to be restreamed.
It is
When
on
is that?
8th of April.
Maybe. Oh, actually, I've written them all down because I published a thing about it.
I think.
Not in this book, I didn't know.
Oh, I can't remember. It's
Well,
on.
it's all online.
Yeah. So.
And yeah, I didn't see it, but I will try and check it out this time around. There's like 70 acts that they're restreaming.
70 restreaming. Yeah. 8th of April. Thank you, Sarah.
8th of April. There we go.
So also hi, Oscar.
I don't think I just scrolled through. I don't think we've had any questions on here. If anyone's got any quick questions, feel free to ask. No. Will you sign my boob? How did you feel when you got cast in Six?
Oh my god, ecstatic. Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Had you seen the show before?
No, I hadn't. I saw it with Lauren actually, because we both got cast like within 2 days of each other. So we decided then we would go see the show. But we neither of us had seen the show before we were cast in the show. So I remember like the opening and the curtains opening. We were like, I just got pure goosebumps. Like, yeah, amazing. So I was very, very happy. Yes.
Do you use milk substitute, or water for hot chocolate?
I use milk.
Random question. I was watching an interview with you the other day to like prepare for this, and I'm not a stalker. And someone asked you what your favourite kind of pasta was.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Do like fusilli. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know what? Before you said it, I was like, fusilli.
Yeah.
It's the most fun.
Of course it is. It's just great. Yeah. I love.
If you could be any animal, what would you be?
A lion. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Or maybe a flamingo. Could just be lovely.
Stand up high and just observe
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Can you discuss the single "Taking Back My Life"?
Oh, yes. I wrote Taking Back My Life, oh, about 3 years ago now. And it was about an ex of mine. I'd never written a song before, but I just felt really passionately about getting this sort of subject out into the world. Yeah, so I just decided to record it. I am re-recording it with a full band, which will hopefully be available soon. But if you haven't heard Taking Back My Life, do check it out. It's on Spotify. I also feel like a lot of people can relate to it about, toxic relationships and stuff like that. So, yes.
Um, and I think this is a good one to end on. Can you rap? And have you seen Hamilton?
I have only seen Hamilton on Disney Plus. I was actually auditioning for Hamilton prior to lockdown. So I have had to do my fair share of rapping, yes.
Oh, can you give us a bit now?
Huh?
Can you give us a bit now? No.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your probably very busy schedule right
Oh,
now.
very busy.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I highly recommend everyone buys the album. And I look forward to seeing you hopefully back in the theatre very
Yes,
soon.
hopefully. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I have no idea how to end this, but
Uh,
I assume if I just... Oh, God. No idea. Oh, I think I'm just going to
yeah,
X out of it. Oh, yes, I've worked it out now. Right,
great.
thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Have a great weekend.
See you.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.